Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We'll get to the JRC in a moment. First, brief disclaimer. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, all pertinent links will be found right there in the description box for you. So should you ever like to deep dive on either subject, you'll definitely be able to do so. Trigger warning, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. First off, I use profanity. I use profanity a lot. Second of all, when we cover places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. So if you got children that are 16 and younger and they are watching this, parental supervision, very much advised. Alright, folks, where we left off last time. We're almost to the halfway point. Alright, so, next comment. Ban electrical stimulation devices. There is extensive evidence indicating that ESDs pose significant health risks, including physical risks like burns, pain, tissue damage, and errant shocks due to device malfunction, and psychological risks such as depression, anxiety, and worsening of underlying conditions and PTSD. Now, when it comes to mental health, unfortunately, they can argue because what we know about mental health is barely the tip of the iceberg. But those physical injuries can't be explained away because where they got that information from is literally from the ER documents from students of the JRC who went to local hospitals that came in with those issues caused specifically by the GED to such an extent that an ER doctor ordered the JRC to remove the device off a child for 2 solid weeks until all the burns and bruises have healed up before they try and put that device on them again. That cannot be erased. It can't be explained away. People cannot use society's innate ableism to explain them away. Those are actually extremely important in regards to this case. Because exactly specifically that reason. Not do we only have those documents, but we also have video surveillance footage and photos of said injuries as well. So, extremely important when it comes to this case because it's not something the JRC can just tell you, oh, who you gonna believe, me or your lying eyes, right? Let's continue. There have been clinical studies and expert reviews suggesting that ESDs are not reliably effective in managing self-injurious or aggressive behaviors. It's because if you remove the device, the behaviors come back, which means in all actuality, no problems are actually being solved. Okay? Makes about as much sense. I don't know. I was kind of one of the last generations of the kids who got the belt. So this whole quit crying, I'll give you something to crying about logic, it didn't make sense then. It still doesn't make sense now, folks. For real. Like, how does that make sense? Either way, I'm going to be cry. Like this, either way, the kid ends up hurt. And nothing's actually getting resolved. Just saying. Instead, alternative treatments like positive behavioral support, would you all please stop using that as though it is an actual form of treatment in and of itself. It's an umbrella term. For the love of God, please start using it that way. You're confusing people. Sorry, folks. It just gets me. Maybe it's my hyper-focus, but Mother of God. This is why you can't take me to historical films in public. You think you've been embarrassed at the movies? Cognitive behavioral therapy and medications provide more humane and effective treatment options. Additionally, medical and psychological associations advocate against the use of ESDs, emphasizing the importance of treatments that respect dignity and well-being of individuals with disabilities. Very well said, Eddie. So, let's move on to the next comment, shall we? Alright, here we go. Alright, this is quick, simple, and to the point. You gotta love it. It's my favorite. I support the ban of electrical stimulation devices. It's ineffective and inhumane. But you don't know why. How long do you got? I have hours and hours and literal years of videos going over the information in regards to this case. You want evidence? You better just take a week and a half off work and bring a whole lot of espresso. Just saying. Alright, this one here. Okay, this one states in my last comment, I forgot to mention I'm queer. This for torture as used in conversion therapy to harm people and children in a similar manner with the same horrific effects. Please consider this too. Honey, it's not just what the JRC does. ABA too is trying, but what is your conversion therapy? They're trying to turn us into you. I don't want to be you. Just a general principle. I have come to have an appreciation for my neurodivergence and the gifts as well as the detriments that come with it. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else I do want to be somewhere else. For the love of God, get me the fuck out of here now. For the love of God. But you know what I mean. Anyways. Next comment. Again, quick and simple, right? Abusive practices should carry prison sentences. Greg, please, for the love of God, bro, get yourself a megaphone. Don't worry, we got a nice town square out here. I will get you set up and hooked up, bro. I'll get you the best freaking megaphone known to man. Banning harmful and abusive devices should be the first step towards that. The whole place needs to just be shut down. It's just kind of difficult when you have a current administration who thinks that we need to bring the asylums back while ignoring literally why they tend to be the base of a whole shit ton of horror movies. We don't want to take you back to the 50s. We want to take you to the Dark Ages. Yes, I can tell. Let me read this part. Okay, it says this Constitution does not allow cruel and unusual punishment for criminals, so why are we subjecting autistic children to it? Explain it to me like I'm 5. Because working for the state, when I tell you I've seen, there's a reason I became a pretty active part of the group that goes out when things go wrong and review those reports. Let's just put it that way. Boy, were my bosses happy I had a strong stomach. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and read more. I know this is a shorter video, but in my defense, the last video was a little bit longer, so. Oh, we just read Elizabeth. Let me go back. There we are. Alright, folks. This says, I am a friend of many autistic people. There is no need to shock people who are vulnerable and need safety and understanding. These devices must be outlawed for public safety. Go off, Marjorie, go off. And folks, I mean, you're seeing this, right? Like, every once in a while we'll find one of the JRC Kool-Aid drinkers, but by and large, even the professionals who are commenting have been for the ban. Literally. But of course, we're going to be continued through until we get that magical number of video 100 of the public comments, so that can give everybody a good gist as to where the lay of the land lies on this subject before we get back to our regular scheduled programming. But for now, we're going to go ahead and close on out. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do tend to get removed from time to time. If you all would be so kind, please go ahead and hit the like button, hit subscribe, and of course, folks, please don't forget to hit the comments. Double check to make sure you are set up for notifications. Coming up Saturday, we're going to have our next episode of Down the Rabbit Hole series, and on Sunday, we're going to be continuing on with our snake oil cells series. And we don't want you to miss anything, of course. I appreciate your time, and as always, folks, we here at this very amateur channel of Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. I will, of course, see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye, everyone.